She usually hangs out during the live streams as well. Anyway, I'm about to step in it, all the way in it. Because I got to talk about Paige Beckers. And no, I'm not talking about Paige Beckers because people are talking about Candace Parker talking about Paige Beckers. I was really harping on Paige Beckers Monday night during Unrivaled, her debut with Unrivaled, her team, what are they called again? The Breeze. It's a new team. The Breeze taking on the Phantom. I didn't realize how much of a ball hog Paige Beckers is. Yes, I said it, a ball hog. And we got into it in the chat, and I know there's some Paige Beckers loyalists out there who are going to say, not you piling on Paige Beckers. What do you mean? She's a ball. She's a ball. She was playing 1-on-3 in that game on Monday night. So, yes, I know she scored 24 points. I expect her to score 24 points because she didn't want to pass the ball. Now, you might say, well, Adrian, she had 6 assists. Don't be fooled. That's deceptive, right? And she got some of those assists at the end. At one point, hear me now, at one point, Dominique Malonga goes up to Paige Beckers when Paige Beckers got to the line. And I think, and people in the chat said the same thing, I think Malonga was like, hello, I'm here, I'm open, pass the ball. Now, before Unrivaled debuted that day, because it debuted in the afternoon, Paige Beckers played in the night game, but in the afternoon, I put out the video telling people where to watch, telling them about the rules, and I also said that I thought the Breeze, that's the team again that Paige plays on, I said that's probably going to be a tough team because you have Paige Beckers, you got Dominique Malonga, and I was saying that two-man game between Malonga and Paige is going to be something else. The problem is, well, it really wasn't a problem in the sense that the Breeze won and Paige Beckers, she had her 24 points and all that. But what people were saying in the chat was that Paige was playing like she was still playing with the Dallas Wings of the WNBA. Like where she had to carry such a huge load and doesn't know what it's like on the professional level to play with other people who know how to play. Because I'm telling you, she was taking on like 3 people and was not trying to pass the ball. Then they had halftime. She came out. She passed the ball a couple times. And I said, well, maybe the coach said, Paige, you want to pass the ball maybe? So maybe that happened. But for a while, it was like she wasn't passing at all. It was total hero ball. It was annoying to watch. And yes, I know she's, she cooked or whatever people want to say, but I'm not, as a person who played and as a person who coached, I'm not overly impressed with people who don't think their teammates also deserve to get the basketball. And when you have a Dominique Malonga on the court, give her the ball. The screen, I saw Dominique setting the screen, rolling to the basket, and Paige Beckers' head goes down immediately, and she's taking on 3 people. So, yeah, that's not cool. And like I said, it's not just me. Like I said, it was talked about in the chat. Another thing that was talked about in the chat was how much she flops. Now, I noticed that a little bit in the WNBA season, but it was annoying. And no, let's be real. I'm not a Paige Beckers fan. She went to UConn. I get it. But nonetheless, I know what I saw. And I saw somebody who debuted and for a large part of the game was disregarding her teammates. And I don't think it's cool. And I don't find it. Like I said, Dominique at one point walked over at the line and she was doing, and the Paige kind of nodded her head. I think she was like, pass the ball, I'm open. Paige wasn't really, again, she ended with 6 assists, but that number is very deceptive. She played a lot of minutes and she had, I expect her to have 24 points. When you don't really look, when you're not really looking to pass the ball on a regular, consistent basis, then I expect you to do that. And she's a great player. without a doubt. I just never looked at her as being a ball hog. And it was one game, I know, but it was a very ball hoggish game. And flopping. Speaking of flopping, let's just take a look at this. X. This is Women's Hoops Network.
Quarter. Breeze has caught the momentum. Wind at its sails as Beckers leans and scores.
Okay, now some people are like, what's the problem? The ball went in. Huge flop, and in this case, Cameron Brink sets the screen, but Paige Beckers ain't trying to pass the ball, okay? So here it is. She brings the ball up. She's got Natasha Cloud on her, and there's Cameron Brink, sets the screen right there, and then she rolls to the basket. Now, she rolls to the basket, and Paige throws the ball up. Ain't no Natasha. Look, Natasha Cloud is not knocking down Paige Beckers right here. There's distance between the two, but watch Paige.
As Beckers
She just literally just flops. Her bones hit the floor. It's the most ridiculous thing, and it's frankly annoying, okay? She hit the shot, but the flopping thing there, come on.
Wind at its sails as Beckers leans and scores.
That mess is terrible. So somebody brought up in the chat, well, all great players flop. It was like, somebody else said, let's be for real. We know that there are players, whether you're talking about the NBA or the WNBA or college, there are some people who are like flop masters. You don't want to be a flop master. What great players do is they know how to draw fouls. They know how to draw a foul. That's a whole different thing than just straight up flopping when nobody's even touching you. And I'm sorry, but I can't respect flopping that bad. It's not even a good acting job. Now, let me go to Candace.